Слава Україні!
Hello comrades and welcome to the official announcement start of the World War III RP. If you're part of the Discord, then I urge that you watch this full video as it will mention your nation, give you an update on where the world is going and all that. If your nation isn't mentioned, it's either because there wasn't enough significant change for it to be mentioned, or I simply forgot, and if I did, I'm really sorry. So yes, I know that I said I would do, I'd read character bios, but again, there's a lot of them, which is wonderful, and I do want to do a separate video for that, but it's just a whole lot to mention. So I'm going to state the nation, the leader name, and then the current situation that the nation is in. Alrighty, so to start, we have the nation of Transjordan. This formed from the unification of Israel, Jordan, and South Lebanon. Or I guess South Lebanon. It is currently led by Solomon. He was the leader of Israel, as mentioned in the first intro video, but he is now the leader of Transjordan. The nation is at war with the nation of Palestine, and it's also on very high tension with UCAS. As to whether or not any military action will happen between UCAS and Transjordan, we'll see. On the left here we have the Transjordanian military, and then on the right we have the Jordanian security force. So this security force is developed around protecting just Jordan itself and the king, who is also king of the nation, but I don't know I can't remember if that's a genuine king with power and authority, or if it's just a figurehead. Anyway, nation of Transjordan. Here we have the Soviet Union. This was a nation I mentioned last time. However, though, it went through some significant leadership changes. Both KGB head and Ukrainian SSR leader both had great feelings against the leader Yanev. They saw him as a rather moronic idiot who was just ham-fistedly screwing everything up and wanted him out. So the one who led the coup before the other was Gagarin. He was head of the Ukrainian SSR. He now finds himself head of the entirety of the Soviet Union. Currently, the Soviet Union is at war with the White Star Alliance. This is Ukrainian rebels, Belarusians, Estonians, Lithuanians, and I believe those are the only ones that have formed as nations to actively fight the Soviets. So, yep, that's the Soviet Union, its current situation. Here we have the Ukrainian loyalists, led by Denishkov. He is currently pushing it towards Kiev to re-establish order. Other than that, the Ukrainian SSR is not at war with anyone else aside from the White Star. On the left here we have the Donetsk City Volunteers Regiment. We have the guy in blue, that is the Berkut police forces of the Ukrainian SSR. In the middle we have the Luhansk Brigade, City Brigade. That's also Ukrainian loyalists. And on the right we have the Elite Zarya Battalion, which is also the Ukrainians' elite Spetsnaz kind of unit. Here we have the UCAS. It comprises of many nations, one of the most notable ones being Egypt. That is how they have access to the M1 Abrams tank. The Egyptians received plans and even had a factory to start producing them in 1984. Mass production didn't begin until 92, but yeah, since we are in 92 now, so they now have access and building abilities for this tank. On the left we have the elite forces. Center we have the standard army. The right we have the in the blue we have the Marines, as you guys saw in the video when they liberated Malta. We have the National Guard next to it with the shield, and then on the very far right we have the Special Operations Soldier. UCAS is currently not at war with anyone, but just as I mentioned, it is on high tensions with Transjordan, and it is actively supplying and supporting the Palestinian nation, which Transjordan is at war with. So obviously their tensions are very, very high, but there has been no active war declared between the two just yet. Here we have the Estonian Forest Brothers. It is more or less of an insurgency. It does hold a few towns and some cities. However, though, it does not hold the entirety of Estonia, which is why they mostly are equipped with Soviet gear and rather ragtag looking. But they do have hopes in terms of freeing the whole of Estonia from Soviet occupation. Here we have the PZPR, PZPR. It is Communist Poland, if you don't know. It is currently fighting, it is currently at war with the White Star movement. It is supporting its ally, the Soviets. It's part of the Warsaw Pact. The leader, I believe, Kazimierz Ledwanski. He is head of the PZPR. And, yeah, he's the current leader. The PZPR, aside from being at war with White Star, is actually, no, they're only at war with the White Star, and they are part of the Warsaw Pact. Nothing else really to say. There is a Polish nationalist monarchist movement that's risen up. The king claims power, however, though, he has to fight to take control, and obviously his objective will be to hold back the monarchists and nationalists that threaten his nation. Here we have the nation of Belarusia. This is the head republic of the White Star movement. It currently holds all of its territory. They've successfully won the Battle of Minsk. They forced the Soviets back to the border. The leader is Koen Brenvalis. He has replaced the former leader. I believe that was something Korolovich. The guy was very old. He was in his 80s and unfortunately passed away peacefully in his sleep. Koen Brenvalis was a rather obvious second in command choice. He's young at the age of 34, but he has the spirit and determination to fight. Currently, Belarus is the White Star movement and is at war with the Soviets. That is all there is to really say for right now. Do apologize on the lack of information, but that is currently the situation with this country. Here we have the nation of Australia. It is currently not at war with anyone. It is part of the Golden Pack. Its leader is Jean, or PM. Oh gosh. Yes, Jean Curtin. He is the current leader of Australia. The nation is not formally at war with anybody, but he certainly is eyeing territory and making plans. Not much to really say for right now. Here we have a fairly new nation that formed, the Holy Roman Empire, the HRE. It is currently not at war with anybody, but it is certainly supplying different insurgencies throughout the world. It has very close ties towards the nation of Transjordan, and does hinted several times at the idea of a crusade. Its nation comprises originally of Austria and Germany, or West Germany, but now includes Switzerland, Flanders, which is the bottom half of Belgium. That nation split. Who else? Hungary. That is the other nation. That currently is, to my knowledge, what comprises of HRE. I might have missed a few other places that have been absorbed, but that is the basic understanding. Here we have the Argentine Reich. As you saw, they took the Falklands, or the Malvinas Islands, from the British. They hosted a victory parade and celebrating their unity with Chile, and honestly there was one other nation they unified with, but anyway, It's led by Dirk Führer Wangler or something, Wrangler. Adolf Hitler there was the original leader and founder of it, but he's very old now and doesn't have the energy to genuinely lead the nation. But he certainly is still seen as a key and important figure. Here we have the nation of Brazil. It is currently not at war with anyone, but it is close allies with the nation of Grand Venezuela. It is also has rather good ties with other South American nations. It is certainly not in the friendliest of terms with the Argentine Reich, but I've yet to see where the nation leads to in terms of the future. Here we have the Mujahideen. The leader is Hassar Adeli, age 32. The Mujahideen is obviously a Islamist kind of movement, and a rather spaced out kind of terrorist organization fighting throughout the whole world. Not a whole lot to really say. I mean, they're at war with just about everybody. I mean, they're obviously a terrorist organization, so there's not a whole lot to really say there. Here we have the Tagir Syndicate. It is originated from the Somali land of Somalia. Comprised originally of Somali pirates. The leader is Sobek. He runs the organization, though no one has ever seen him or knows what he looks like. He usually has his 4 top warlords do business for him on his behalf. To the left is obviously the main group of pirates and people that fight for him. To the right there, in the special elite gear, are his private security. Other than that, not much is really known, nor is anyone quite well aware of his goals, aside from the possible hinting of him wanting to find Atlantis. Here we have the Confederate States of America. It is actively at war with the United States. Obviously, it rose up against them. They have successfully won the battle for New Orleans. They, at least they've survived the siege so far. They've pushed back the Union Army. As stated in the video before this one, the Union Army is now back to fighting in the suburbs. Other than that, the CSA hasn't fought anywhere else and is currently not at war with anybody else, aside from just the Union. Here we have the nation of Gran Venezuela. This country has successfully taken down several different narco and cartel organizations. It has proven itself a very strong power. It's not actively at war with any nations. It is currently doing what it can to fight and rid itself of all cartels. It's assisted and held close ties with Mexico. Its leader is Pac Katari Guevara. He's born in Rosario, Argentina, and I guess you read the character bio later on, I guess. So to the left we have the standard Venezuelan military, Grand Venezuelan military. To the right we have the elite branch of the Qatari 26th. Not a whole lot to really say, but a very promising rising superpower that is not exactly on the friendliest terms with the nation of the Argentine Reich. Here we have the good old Lone Star state of Texas, or should I say Republic. The Republic of Texas rose up along with the Confederacy against the Union. However, though, it is not part of the Confederacy as it had been in the 1800s. It is its own thing. It is not actively at war with the Union. Tensions are probably high, but we don't know exactly for sure. The leaders currently, or the leader currently, is Chadman Beauregard, age 32. He is a staunch conservative and descendant of the legendary Civil War general Pierre Gustave Toutant Beauregard. I'm probably mispronouncing that horribly, but he is now leading the Republic. He has yet to be tested in leadership and combat skill. With his General Kelly Kleiner. The nation obviously is armed with mostly US equipment. Yeah, not a whole lot else to really say. Here we have the nation of Mexico. To the left is the Mexican Standard Army, the center is UN peacekeeping forces, and the right is Mexican CFE, the elite who you saw in the cartel raid. The nation of Mexico is not actively at war with anybody. Its leader is Alejandro Voluntad Fuerte. His nationality is actually a Spanish-Mexican. He's 35 years old. The UN forces of the Mexican UN soldiers are currently stationed in Transjordan, seeing to holding the peace between the nation of Transjordan and the nation of Palestine. But other than that, there is no active reported UN missions with the Mexican branch at the very least. Hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed that. This is my guy. He is Elias Novak. He's a Czechoslovakian national. He's age 45. And he is the head of the UN. He's the UN General Secretariat. Everyone keeps saying UN President. Obviously missed a good few nations. Singapore, Vietnam, Kingdom of Poland. I think I may have missed a few others. I either missed your bio or I didn't see it in time, and I do apologize for that. I could always do a proper dedicated video towards just talking about the nation leaders, reading their bios out in full, if you guys would like that. But anyway, this is the end of the official announcement start for the RP. When you join from now on, the RP will be live. There won't be any waiting to do any RP. If things were a bit confusing, I'm sure they probably were. Just obviously let me know. And let's hope to a good World War III RP.